Johnson's speech pattern, and which was familiar to my ear at this time from hearing it and so forth.
Hello, cinema enthusiasts. Jack Nicholson. For decades, Jack Nicholson was known as Hollywood's rebellious child and rule-breaking genius. Behind that infamous devilish grin, however, he always carried an unshakable sense of professional honor. But today, at 88 years old, Nicholson breaks his silence in the harshest way possible by naming the 5 actors he hated most. In this video, we examine 5 legendary names who crashed into Jack's hard walls of professionalism and truth and earned a place on his blacklist. Some were his idols, some were his colleagues, but every one of them crossed Jack's red lines. And especially the name at the very end of the list, one of today's most beloved actors. You won't believe how Jack terrorized him on set with a real weapon. If you're ready, let's begin. Number 1. Marlon Brando, a fallen god. At the top of the list is the greatest emotional collapse of Jack Nicholson's life, Marlon Brando. To Jack, Brando was the god of acting, the ultimate inspiration, until 1976, when they stood side by side on the set of the Missouri Breaks. Jack arrived like a warrior ready to meet his idol in battle. What he found instead shattered him. Brando arrived on set severely overweight, completely indifferent, and without memorizing a single line. Instead of reading the script, he taped his dialogue onto crew members' foreheads, lamps, and furniture. As filming progressed, Brando sabotaged scenes by suddenly switching to an Irish accent or demanding to wear women's clothing mid-shoot. The breaking moment came when Jack stared into Brando's eyes during a scene, searching for that legendary spark, and found only laziness. After the take, Jack retreated to his trailer and delivered the line that became infamous. Genius does not justify laziness. A lazy genius is just an expensive con artist. From that moment on, Brando was no longer a guide. He was a parody of his own myth. Though Jack continued to respect Brando's early work, he swore never to share a set with him again. Result: for Jack Nicholson, Brando became the #1 example on the list titled Heroes You Should Never Meet. Jack saw the circus atmosphere Brando brought to the set as an insult to professionalism and stripped his idol of the sacred throne in his mind, sealing him onto his blacklist. Number 2. Tom Cruise, the emptiness of a mechanical smile. Second on the list is Tom Cruise, whom Jack Nicholson described as a machine with no danger inside. When these two giants collided on the set of A Few Good Men in 1992, the world expected an acting masterclass. Jack, however, found himself facing nothing more than a perfectly programmed robot. Jack believed acting thrived on moments where everything could explode without warning. But with Cruise, every smile, every movement, every breath felt pre-planned, rehearsed like choreography in front of a mirror. As filming progressed, Jack tried to provoke Cruise to crack that calculated control, but Cruise's professional mask never moved an inch. The breaking moment came during the famous courtroom scene. Jack unleashed everything he had, stepping outside the script and physically advancing toward Cruise to provoke a genuine reaction. Cruise simply fired back his memorized lines like a machine. After the take, Jack leaned toward his assistant and whispered, "You look into his eyes and all you see are gears turning. Everything is perfect and completely empty. This isn't acting. This is image management." To Jack, Cruise was like a studio recording, clean, flawless, and lifeless. Result: though Jack respected Cruise's discipline, he openly stated that working with him made him feel nothing. "If there's no danger on set, I don't feel like an actor," Jack said, adding Cruise to his blacklist as the embodiment of soulless perfection. Number 3. Faye Dunaway, the saboteur of dreams. Third is the woman who shattered Jack Nicholson's directing career and his greatest dream, Faye Dunaway. The legendary chemistry that mesmerized the world in Chinatown later transformed into pure hatred and sabotage on the two Jakes. Jack was the director, writer, and lead actor. He had put everything on the line. Dunaway, meanwhile, arrived late every day, challenged every line, and questioned Jack's decisions publicly. As filming progressed, she turned the set from a creative collaboration into a battlefield. The breaking moment came when Jack attempted to shoot a scene for the 20th time, and Dunaway suddenly walked off set, declaring, "I'm not acting under this lighting." Jack lost control and screamed in front of the entire crew. "This isn't collaboration. This is professional assassination. You're sabotaging not just this film, but my dreams." From that moment on, their relationship was destroyed. Jack blamed the film's failure entirely on Dunaway, and the wound cut so deep that he never directed another film again. Result: for Jack Nicholson, Faye Dunaway became the ultimate killer of trust. "We once had chemistry. Now there's only poison," he said, cutting her out of his life entirely. To Jack, she wasn't just an actress, but a saboteur capable of burning a work of art for the sake of ego. Number 4. Shelley Duvall, a broken dance partner. Fourth is a name Jack Nicholson hated working with, but later pitted: Shelley Duvall. Jack wanted a scene partner who would push back, who would answer violence with violence. Instead, Shelley's fragile and unstable nature turned the set into a nightmare. Stanley Kubrick's endless retakes drove Shelley into psychological collapse. She suffered breakdowns mid-scene, forgot lines, and couldn't match Jack's intensity. As Jack tried to find his rhythm, Shelley's scattered performance pushed him to the edge. The breaking moment came during the infamous bathroom door scene, when Shelley suffered a real nervous breakdown and collapsed. Jack later described her condition as unprepared and out of control, saying in an interview, "Acting requires a dance partner. Dancing with Shelley felt like she was hearing a completely different song. It destroyed me." Jack believed Shelley's weakness killed the truth of the film. Result: though Jack later softened, acknowledging Kubrick's cruelty toward Shelley, the anger from those days never faded. "Stanley destroyed her, but she destroyed our film," he said, sealing her place on his professional blacklist as impossible to work with. Number 5. Leonardo DiCaprio, Dangerous Perfection. We arrive at the most surprising name on the list, Leonardo DiCaprio. On The Departed set, Jack found the young prodigy too safe and too well-behaved. To Jack, Leo was a brilliant student, but lacked the wild danger a true actor must possess. Jack loved chaos, the sense that anything could happen at any moment. Leo, on the other hand, arrived with every expression, step, and glance meticulously prepared, disciplined to an academic level. As filming progressed, Jack devised a plan to shatter that perfect but lifeless preparation. The breaking moment came when Jack suddenly pulled a real gun, not in the script, from under the table and pointed it directly at Leo's face. The terror on Leo's face lasted seconds. Scorsese didn't cut. After the scene, Jack laughed and said, "Now you stopped acting and actually got scared. Your homework version isn't enough for me. I need danger." Leo was deeply disturbed and viewed the incident as a breach of trust. Jack later told friends, "The kid's talented, but there's no danger in his blood. I can see every brick. He can't step into the ring with me again." Result: Jack Nicholson respected DiCaprio's professionalism, but found his acting sterile. "I wouldn't work with him again. He plays by the rules. I like burning them," Jack said, placing Leo on his blacklist for being too safe. At 88, Jack Nicholson reminds us of the brutal truth behind Hollywood's glittering surface. Acting isn't about looking good or crying on cue. It's a war of truth and danger. Brando's laziness, Cruise's machinery, Dunaway's sabotage, Shelley's fragility, Leo's safety. Jack smiled his famous smile at each of them, but he never forgave them. What do you think? Let's discuss this legendary reckoning in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to explore the hidden world of legends. See you in the next video.